Support for America's Heartland provided by
Sustainable Agriculture Research and Education. SARE is a USDA grants program for farmers, researchers, and educators. Since 1988, SARE grantees have used their own innovative ideas to improve profitability, stewardship, and quality of life on farms and ranches across the U.S. More information at SARE.org.
About 25 miles outside of Lemon, South Dakota, just over the North Dakota state line, the Gaugler farm sits on 4,000 acres of rolling hills. In the nearly 100 years that the Gaugler family has farmed here, things have certainly changed. Yet, they've also stayed the same.
A lot of what we're doing today has been done already. I mean, it's not new, but we have some small pieces of technology that enable us to change how we're going about it.
Drew Gaugler and his sister Erin grew up on this land. Both went away to college. After graduating as a mechanical engineer, Drew worked in Africa, New Zealand, and Australia, gaining valuable insight into farming practices around the world. Erin is finishing up her PhD in range sciences. Their parents, Jody and Harold Gaugler, both hold master's degrees and share a passion for learning with their family.
They both had the opportunity to see the world, and they've brought a lot of things that the United States people don't do.
They dug wells and used solar to pump them. They planted trees to provide a windbreak for the cattle. And they created a habitat that attracts wildlife to help foster a healthier functioning landscape.
Those are all things
from Australia
that we wouldn't have done. Those are things that younger generations can do.
Drew and Erin applied for grants from SARE, the Sustainable Agriculture Research and Education Program, through the USDA. It's an organization focused on providing funding to farmers who want to try new things, specifically research that can be done in the field, with the purpose of acquiring new ways of farming sustainably.
It allowed us to come up with creative ideas that maybe hadn't been tried elsewhere, implement them, and then learn from those projects.
Over the years, they've been awarded 3 different SARE grants. The first was focused on a winter management strategy known as bale grazing. It's a way to improve soil health on this land that has been farmed for the last century.
Bale grazing is really a regenerative practice. It's how we are taking hayfields that have been reaching the end of their productive period, and we regenerate them back into being highly productive.
The Gauglers spread out bales in the fall that feed their livestock through the winter. At the same time, cattle are kept in smaller areas and rotated through different pastures every week or so. This means the manure they produce doesn't pile up and need to be hauled out. Instead, the cattle help fertilize the land by spreading the manure, just by walking around.
It's like mulching for a garden, but it's just on a larger scale.
We're not spending all of that time running the tractor, burning the fuel, and the cattle are working a little bit more for us and helping us accomplish our goals.
The second SARE grant is designed to enhance the benefits of bale grazing through the incorporation of multi-species, specifically sheep. The reason?
Different livestock function in different ways.
The sheep forage and distribute manure differently than cattle, which improves soil health and forage production across the landscape. They've also just begun incorporating SARE Grant number 3, keyline cultivation. This includes cutting slits in the land that manure deposits and runoff flow into to help improve soil health and water retention. It's a way of farming once unfamiliar to many in this region.
Sometimes it takes time and input from the younger generation to say, hey, Ma, why are you doing that? And so just taking time to stop and think why we do things.
In order to stay in business, we have to consider what sustainability is and what that means on the resources that you manage.
For me, it's doing what's right for the land, but also doing what keeps you in business so you can continue to do what's right for the land.
It's a place that we all call home, and it's really nice that it's going to be handed down to another generation, and they're going to do the same thing we are. and hopefully take it beyond what we've done.
Yeah, I was going to say they won't do it the same.
No.
Maybe not the same, but the Gauglers do believe that with the practices they're implementing now, their family will be farming on this land for decades to come.